Hey, this is Brett. So I'm over at the studio just doing some reamping of some of my guitar parts for the new Echolyn record. I have them all recorded, and I spend a lot of time at home at my own home studio kind of working out ideas and things like that. It's the practical way of doing things in a sort of a distance format that Chris and I and Ray and Jordan have these days. But it works out really well. It actually adds a cool little twist to the way to make music. So I kind of like that. But anyway, I'm over here now and I'm just sort of, I'll show you. Here we go, yeah. So coming out of Pro Tools, running my performance out through the patch bay, and then I'm running into a ReAmp that's taking a line level signal and making it an instrument level signal. So you can see coming out of the patch here of the specific channel, running into the ReAmp, and then I've got an instrument cable, a lead coming out over here, and I'm going into this light speed here, which I'm actually not using for this part, but it just gives me a chance to, you know, just do a couple little simple things with drive or not, or less or more, just a little bit of tone control. But like I said, I'm not using it for this specific part. So then I come out here, I run through the wall through an instrument jack connector, and in this case I'm running over to this matchless combo, and I have it mic'd up with this blue mic. It's a condenser ribbon, which is kind of nice. It's called a woodpecker. So I'm using that on here. Before I was just cutting some stuff on this old 60s Princeton, which is cool too. But one of the things you have to do is just, if you use different amplifiers, it helps create a little bit more of a palette, you know, color palette with guitars and stuff. You don't want to keep using the same thing all the time. It makes mixing a little bit easier and a little bit more varied tonally. So I'll show you. So I put a tone right here with a sine wave. That's the output of the guitar line signal. And when I record, I'll actually record that tone beep as well. And that way I can make sure that the phase relationship, as far as temporally speaking, right, is going to line back up again. Because the D to A conversion and then the A to D conversion, there'll be a little bit of time in there. And I want to make sure that I'm not doing anything weird with that time. So I just want to make sure it stays consistent with my performance and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's what I do there. Oh, I'm also running, I'm using this sort of, this MC77, this purple compressor as well on it too. Just sort of a slow attack, real fast release, and just kind of driving it a little bit with the compressor just to keep it a little bit more in your face. So I'll show you here. I'm going to record right now. I'll just hit this. I stop, and then what I do is I'll go back again once I have everything recorded, and I'll line up these little guys here. I'll show you what I mean if I zoom in, and you can see here, if I zoom in, you see how the blue right there is just a little bit later than the original. So I'll sync it back up and do that, and you can see too that it's actually, the phase on it is flipped too. So I'll flip that phase, I'll invert it, and then just line it up with the original, and then everything will be, you know, as I recorded it. So just want to show you a little snapshot of that. I'm going to do this all day. Take care. I went over to the Princeton for this section. It's tracking my Stratocaster. Same microphone, slightly different tone. Okay, in this section I'm using my Gibson 330, 1967. I wanted it to sound a little bit different than the other two Fender guitars that I was using. Hey Wilson, how you doing? Good boy. So yeah, I'm just running it through some pedals and out into the matchless with a couple different microphones this time. Shure SM57, as you can see here, and a Royer 121 ribbon mic. You gotta make sure you position these things right in the exact spot so that they're in phase. ReAmping is a really cool process, but one of the downsides is that for me as a guitar player, I'm not interacting during my performance with the actual amplifier. Guitar players can understand what I'm saying. As an engineer, I'm trying to get as close as I can to how my initial performance with the amp simulator took place. Generally, I can tell when I find that sweet spot because the sound coming out of the amp sounds like how I originally felt it and played it. Hope you enjoyed this insight.